Buenos dias from Don Rogers, overlooking the beautiful whale tail, and it's even a more beautiful morning than normal here. And tide isn't completely low, but you can see the whale tail out there now. So without further ado, I'm going to flip you out to look at the whale tail. I'm trying to get you in on my iPad. I'm going to throw it out to whale tail. So I think that gives us a little bit better view of the whale tail. Sugar. So check out those clouds. Those clouds are beautiful. Here are the toucans off in the distance here. And in case you missed it, I just uploaded a supermarket video where it's just basically going into the supermarket and um, checking out what they have there in stock and showing the prices in colonies. And also in that video, in the description of that video, I included a currency converter website. So if you want to compare what the prices are to what you'd normally pay, it's useful if you're planning on moving here, or even if you're coming just to visit, because it gives you an idea. Like for instance, I think milk is about $4.06 a gallon. I think that's what the price is on that. And some cereals are really super duper expensive, but it really does vary. And I was kind of surprised to find out that the prices of my local supermarket are actually better than Walmart over in Perez Zeldin, which on the things that I buy anyway. The only advantage that Walmart has on prices is that they have the Walmart brand. Like for instance, if they have a Walmart brand cornflakes or something, that would be cheaper than like a Kellogg's cornflakes. And in Uvita, they're in the process of building a maxi pally, which is, some people think that will bring the prices down here, but I don't really think it will, because Maxi Pally is owned by Walmart, and I just think that their prices aren't really that great. But we'll see. We'll see. Es una day muy hermosa, ¿sí?
Sí.
In español, Scarlett McCall's nombre, Scarlett McCall's in español. La Paz. Muy hermosa La Paz. So La Paz is the Spanish word for Scarlet Macaw, and there's two of those flying off in the distance. We're about over the beach there right now. So it's a beautiful morning here at Don Roger. It's just even more beautiful than normal. You know, those beautiful days where everything is just perfect. The clouds are perfect. The waves are perfect. The temperature's perfect. And it's not raining, but the sun's not out there killing you. But you know, this is Costa Rica, so at any moment that could all change. And usually does. That's one thing. The weather here definitely likes to change its mind a lot this time of year. During December, January, and February, it's pretty much mostly sunny most of the time, which gets old. So I like it when the weather has its little variations. And we may be having a special guest here in the studio here, right, overlooking the whale tail here at Restaurante Don Roger. It was funny last week when I started the live here, and there was a couple of people here having breakfast, and they said hello, and they said that the reason they came up here is because they saw the video. So I'm glad that people are actually, wow, my breakfast is here already. Muchas gracias. So my breakfast is here already. Not as beautiful as the whale tail, but pretty beautiful nonetheless. It's a heavy plate, so it's hard to hold out there. Oh, watermelon today. Awesome. Me gusta, gracias. Hey, Bob, how's it going? The learning Spanish is tough, but everybody here is so cool that it makes it fun. And every once in a while, I'll get talking to somebody that speaks only Spanish and they understand me, and it kind of gives me an ego boost. But yeah, I never was a good learner in anything. It always took me extra long to learn anything. But I'm still working on my English, get alone Spanish. But it's fun, and it's kind of having a sense of humor helps. You know, I've actually have a hat that says "Lo siento, mi español no es bueno." But the people here are just very encouraging and very patient. And the fact that you want to learn Spanish means a lot to them, because there are people there, especially people that speak English, they're very arrogant and they think everybody should speak English everywhere. And I was having a conversation about that with a Costa Rican here just the other day, and he says, yeah, there are tourists that come here and they don't have any desire to learn any kind of Spanish at all. Buenos días, Michael. ¿Cómo estás? No, I have this. It's probably part of the reason why I have such a hard time learning. There's some words I look at, like Michael and Michelle. I can never tell this is English. This is the language I was brought up on. So that is Michael, right? Right. That's Michael. Good morning, Michael. Yeah, and I the woman I was dating for over a year spoke only Spanish, and that didn't help as much as you would think it would. I've dated other women that can speak a little bit of English, and that actually helps me a little bit more because there's kind of like that more like that assimilation that goes on. But it everybody's cool about helping, so it's a fun process. But the translator, especially in a personal relationship, a translator can get you into a lot of trouble. And a lot of times I would take things wrong because they were translated wrong, and also people speak differently here. Like something I might take as passive aggressiveness might just be them, telling me to take care. Sometimes it really depends on how you take things. I'm learning. There's some cultural differences. So with my breakfast this morning, it's substituted the watermelon for the plantains, which is it's nice for something different. But I really do like the plantains. And one thing I've noticed about the watermelon here, the watermelon isn't as good as the watermelon from upstate New York. I mean, that's one of the few fruits that isn't as good. It tends to taste more bland here. But in upstate New York, we have really good melons, hand melon farm, and a lot of the other small farms. But I'm not complaining. It's still good. It's watermelon. So I've got some of the stingerless honeybees. They're these little tiny things, and if you didn't realize it, you'd think they were flies or something. But they tend to visit you when you're eating. One of the things about Costa Rica is most of the places here are either outdoors or they're open. So you're visited by different kinds of flies and insects. You get used to it. So my breakfast today is a yellow pinto, watermelon, some queso, some cheese, and huevos, my eggs, and a tortilla. And I found the the cheese in Costa Rica is what's different. It varies quite a bit from place to place. There's sometimes you get it and it's just got a, I don't know if it's a gamey taste. I don't know what you call it, but sometimes it's really kind of, it doesn't strike me that well. And other times it's just delicious. Favorite crystals. Yeah, I, I actually had a couple of weeks ago here. I was doing a live, and when I do a live, I don't get to my food as fast as I might normally. And my coffee was kind of cold, just sitting there. But I don't mind cold coffee, especially here. So it was towards the bottom of the cup, So I took the last swig of the coffee, and there was a fly in it. And then at that moment, I wasn't sure whether it was, maybe some just coffee uh, particles or something. But I was almost going to crunch on it. Then I said, no, let me check this, and I spit it out. It was a fly, but it didn't bother me as much as it might have bothered me like a year and a half ago when I was living in the States. You accept things here, like a lot of the ants and things. So I am having trouble with ants a little bit because for some reason I'm getting bit and having more like itchy reactions. It's kind of like when I get bit by a little ant lately. It's almost like eventually it turns into like a bee sting kind of. I don't know if it's just me or I'm running into a different kind of ant, but I mean these ants are really small ants. So yeah, with the flies, you develop that skill of being able to keep them at bay. You got your fork in one hand and your knife in the other hand, and you keep an eye on the flies coming in, and you're like just trying to you get a little rhythm going, I think. Yeah, I was really surprised when I came here and went to the grocery store because I wasn't expecting there to be such a variety of products. And that's the bigger grocery store in town. There's 3 grocery stores altogether. And that one, it's only been here less than 5 years, I think. But they have a lot of, they've got a lot of processed food, which is not a good thing for me. I kind of expected it to be like mostly fruits and vegetables and things, they do have. They do have a lot of that. But if you go to El Mercado, you can get more fresh food, and there's a fresh fruit place near me. But they have a lot of really good cookies here, which I was really surprised. And they're made, most of them are made in like either Colombia or Guatemala. Some are made up in San Jose, but a lot of them are made in South America, and they tend to be a lot cheaper than if you're going to buy Oreos or something, which are probably made somewhere in South or Central. Did I say South America? I meant to say Central America. Well, yeah, Costa Rica is in Central America, not South America. Um, yeah, I think like a lot of the big companies, they have processing plants in Central America, but still their stuff is expensive. So I don't necessarily think a ton of stuff is actually shipped from the U.S., but it may be. I may be wrong. I'm just like thinking at the moment, which is always a dangerous thing. Hola, Dirk. October's coming soon. I'm going to tell the bugs to get ready for your lens. And Dirk is from Germany, and he's a spectacular photographer. And he specializes in the creepy crawly things. He's got some pictures of tarantulas that I have a hard time looking at sometimes because they're just so intense. But if the more you're familiar with something, the more you become accustomed to it. So yeah, if I woke up with a tarantula like on my bed, I would probably have a heart attack. But I know to you, they're like your kittens, and the fact that I haven't ran into a tarantula. I would love to see a tarantula from a distance, with a maybe 100 millimeter lens distance. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of bugs that you'll be finding when you come here. Buenos dias. And we have a special guest coming in for today's live. Don Morrow from Canada. We got a little bit of a delay here on the monitor.
Buenos dias, Senor Ed.
So Don he's usually on the chat, but he's going to be here live. And he's actually gone through the process of residency. He's in the middle of the process of residency, but he's still got you still have to do a border run in October, right? Because of your driver's license.
Yeah, I've got to. It's just one of those things. You got to go to get your Caja, then you get your Dimex card, gives you your residency, then you can go up and get your driver's license, and on and on and on. So, yeah, I'll probably go down to Panama this time though, because I went to Nicaragua the last time, and it was a long process.
It's a long drive too. How long of a drive is it? Like 5-6 hours?
Well, from here it's about 8 hours.
Oh, is it?
I spent 2 nights basically in Jaco.
Oh, okay.
So that I could take the shuttle up there. So
yeah, that's a long way to go.
Café con leche, por favor, con azúcar. Oh, gracias. Yeah, so it was okay. I'm Jaco. I'm not a fan of Jaco because I'm a little bit older, so it's a pretty beachy, busy town with a lot of younger people who are there for one purpose or another.
Well, that's because you haven't started surfing yet. As soon as you start surfing, you'll be like, oh, Jaco rules.
No, there's enough surf around here, man. I don't need to go to Jaco.
Well, Sarah's boyfriend, Sebastian, was saying that in the Playa Hermosa up there, there's a Playa Hermosa down here, and there's a Playa Hermosa up in Jaco, and I think there's 2 or 3 other Playa Hermosas.
Yeah, up in Uvita Costa Rica.
He was saying the Playa Hermosa near Jaco has some really good long waves that are really consistent. So that's really good for surfing there. He said he was think about doing surfing lessons. He's a really cool dude. You met him, right?
Oh yeah, Sebastian.
Yeah.
I met him a few times.
Yeah.
I met him at the retreat there the first time. So yeah, no, he's a really good guy. Him and I kind of got along. So with my Malo Spanglish, but
and he's got pretty good English, so that helps out.
Yeah. No, they're a good couple. I really enjoy their presence when they. Yeah, because we were up in Dominical. Was it 2 weeks ago now? Something like that. Yeah. So what a beautiful morning, Ed.
It is. It really is.
This is stretching my my morning routine. But man, you can see the welltail today, man.
It's beautiful. Yeah, the
tide, clear.
Tide's not completely low, but no, I'm not in the residency process yet. I've had a few different plans that I've kind of changed for different ways. I'm out of that for now. I'm just a perpetual tourist until I can figure some things out. So Don, how are you liking the new place? Don recently moved from one place, like right across the street from me, to another place, that one of his friends here found for him, because he's got, losing my voice here, because he's got some Tico friends that it made it possible for him to get a decent rental at a decent price. It's not like your mountaintop view with an infinity pool, but it's right close to town and very convenient to the supermarket.
Huevos ranchados. Gracias. Yeah, the place that I've got now, the owners, which are a really good family, and they're Tico family, they don't speak English, which is perfect for me.
Yeah.
They were going to rent it out as an Airbnb, and my friends who knew them brought me over there and told them that I was looking for a long-term rental and that. So we hit it off, and they decided to not do the Airbnb. And so it's all set up as an Airbnb, 1 bedroom. It's a beautiful place, and they keep asking me if I want anything more, and they keep adding more things onto to it. But yeah, it's really nice. It's it's more than I could have dreamed of when I got on the plane to move to Costa Rica. So and so that's my fourth place. The first place was only a week.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was a really nice place, but it was just pretty sterile. So,
Yeah, it was a brand new building, I think.
yeah, it's the one down on Calle Uvita there, just by the old Mercado.
Yep.
So, but yeah, then I did the cabina up in the jungle, but I didn't have a car, so that was a little bit difficult.
You had the big hill to walk up.
Yeah, but I lost so far almost 50 pounds.
That's one of the benefits of Costa Rica. It'll melt it right off you.
I know this shirt that it used to be really tight on me, man. It's pretty funny. So, but I kind of like it, so I still wear it. So, yeah. Those two hawks. Every time I come up here, they're either flying around, they're in the tree down there, just scouting out there.
And there goes the vulture.
Oh, it's a vulture. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is it's quite the quite the view.
I know, and it's great because it's so close to home. It takes me 8 minutes to get here. It probably takes you less than that. It probably takes you about 4 minutes to get here.
Well, it was about 5. I got stuck in
In traffic.
In traffic. It was coming into town, not going this way. So, yeah. No, this is I've been up here a lot, but usually it's late in the afternoon. And last time I was here was in July.
It's a beautiful view here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying.
And the food.
Yeah, I'm Captain Obvious here. It's beautiful. Costa Rica Chronicles. Buenos dias. How is my buddy Buford doing? Buford got into. We're not sure what Buford got into. Maybe I don't know. Do you think maybe he got into a toad? Because that's a problem with a lot of times here. There's toads that are poisonous, and sometimes dogs get into them, but it's kind of hard to figure out. But Buford was not feeling well. They'd left the house for the day, and they came back, and Buford was not feeling well. He was sick, and they had to kind of make an emergency trip to the vet.
Oh boy.
And he had to spend the weekend at the vet with an IV and all that fun stuff.
Oh.
Gracias. Yeah, gracias, Dirk. October's coming soon. Dirk is coming here in October. That's good to hear. Little Buford is doing better. I'm sure he got the best medical attention available, and I'm sure it probably cost you guys an arm and a leg. But at least it's not as bad as it would have been if it was in the States. Probably would have been a couple $1,000s in the States.
That's a vulture, right?
I believe those are vultures there, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a hawk, because there's another one lower down,
Right.
in the left tooth, but it doesn't have the dots on it.
But sometimes they're right even close by here. Is that the vet that's right in Uvita? Dr. Fernando? She went to Dr. Fernando with Buford. We treated him, excuse me, with Buford. Buford's a man dog.
Lots of butterflies too, huh? Small ones.
Rightly so, because I think that is a butterfly bush.
Yeah.
Do they have those in Canada?
Maybe for about 2 months.
Yeah, we have them. They don't always last. They don't always survive the winter. They're supposed to be perennials, but they don't always last.
Yeah, the excuse now is to let your garden grow wild and your grass and everything so you can help out the bees and the environment. But your neighbors don't appreciate your jungle theme all the time.
That was my style back in the day, in my house. But I didn't. If you ever saw my next door neighbor, you would see why it wouldn't matter. My next door neighbor had, like, at one point, I think he had 2 or 3 riding lawnmowers that were no good, like in his lawn, all kinds of trash. Like, I mean, I'm a live and let live kind of person, but it was like a junkyard over there.
One of those RV collectors.
Not even. He was just. I don't know. I don't know how you describe him. That was part of the reason why I needed to move, because it was living next to such a toxic situation is not good.
Yeah.
So when I talk about reasons for moving, sometimes I forget about that. I mean, I couldn't have been living there with that neighbor for much longer. At some points he had like 8 coonhounds that were barking, and that got to get really old, like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, the construction noise at my old place there was, oh. Bueno, gracias. Gracias. Yeah, the container build across the road from me, and they had 2 more houses going up on that short little street, and that was not the jungle sound I was expecting when you got there.
Yeah. Well, I've learned to adjust to. I mean, I don't have that extreme situation. I've got a lot of noises. I know learned that's what Costa Rica isn't what my fantasy was, but it's just as good. You just have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
The question from Brooke is, do either one of us know the life expectancy of a blue morph? And I don't really know. I would say not too long. They're butterflies. So.
Yeah, they're beautiful though.
Well, I think here things are different because you don't have the winter kill, so maybe it probably would depend on where they are. That'd be a good question to ask at the butterfly house up there, the butterfly garden, which I need to get a video done on soon. Buenos dias, Dayala. Am I saying your name right? Dayala? Dayala? Mi español no es bueno.
Oh, this is good.
The huevo rancheros.
Mm-hmm. Un poquito picante.
And it's amazing how different huevo rancheros are. No 2 places make it the same.
Mm-hmm.
I had one over in Perez. That was the best one I've ever had. But it was completely different. It was like, I can't even describe it.
Very different from Mexico too. Mexico is pretty traditional the way they make theirs there. It's mostly scrambled or whatever.
when I was doing my video at the VM yesterday, I did it like I did it once, and I didn't like the way it came out, so I went back and shot it again. And I was in there, so I'm in there with my GoPro. It's just a little GoPro camera, but I'm going up and down all the aisles, and a manager came up to me in Spanish, asking me what I was doing. And of course, the first thing I say, which kind of gets me a little bit of out of trouble sometimes, not necessarily trouble, but kind of helps me avoid red tape. I say, "Lo siento, mi español no es bueno," but I still kind of had to explain that tengo canal de YouTube, and I'm explaining that it was showing tourists what it was like to shop in Costa Rica versus, the United States, and they let me continue. I think they get a little suspicious maybe that I was getting the prices for the competition or something like that. I know when I went into the furniture store on the Uvita Street video when I did a tour of Uvita Street.
Yeah.
She had a hard time with me being in there at first until I explained exactly what I was doing, because I guess another furniture store opened up in town, and they were stealing employees from her, and they were,
Wow.
I guess the competition gets pretty brutal.
Well, now we got another competitor for BM coming.
Yeah, I was mentioning that before, the Maxi Pally.
The Maxi Pally, yeah. Drove by that construction yesterday. We were working full bore on that.
It's amazing how fast those things go up. And I saw on Facebook people were commenting that maybe that will make prices go down. And maybe it will, but my experience has been when a new chain comes in, initially they'll have some low prices, and then after a while they'll jack them back up. But hopefully it won't impact BM where they go out of business. And there's Don Roger the Rooster giving a little crow. But yeah, I don't see it affecting prices all that much. As I was mentioning before, I've been to Walmart over in Perez Zeldin quite a few times, and the prices there at Walmart are higher than they are at the BM for groceries, unless it's a Walmart product. I'm just going by the things that I look at, like aloe juice and breads, and a lot of things like that are cheaper here at the BM. So the BM keeps it competitive. I think they know they have to.
I did some shopping in Parma Norte yesterday at the BM, and the prices are exactly the same as they are here. And yet there's about 90% of the people living there are Costa Ricans.
Yeah. The prices are just so high for everything everywhere. But when I sit down and look at what the prices are, in that video I calculated what price milk. Hey, Don Roger. I calculated what the price is for milk. It was like $4.06 or something like that, which seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
But that's just the way things are going. And in the States, I know gas prices have gone down, and here gas prices are still kind of up there. If my tank is empty, it costs me about $80 to fill up my tank.
Right. Yeah, I filled mine up yesterday, the first time in a month, but it wasn't really empty, but it was still $50.
Yeah.
And I had a quarter of the tank left in it, and kind of sticker shock.
Yeah.
I'm on a fixed income.
Yeah. I'm on a broken income.
Yeah.
Working on fixing that myself, but yeah, it's not cheap to live here. It's not more expensive than the States, but it's not cheap. If you're gonna move in here and you think that this is a cheap place, it really isn't. There's parts of Costa Rica that are cheaper than the Uvita area, but there's other countries that are a lot cheaper to live in, because it's the supply and demand, especially the Uvita area is growing so fast right now, and in the housing area, forget about it. People are coming here with huge budgets, and you know they're making it hard for anybody else to find a place, especially if you're a Tico that's making $3 or $4 an hour. It's really tough.
Yeah, the people, selling their houses up in Canada or the United States for $1.5 million, $2 million, they can come down here and, live like the multimillionaires up in the States with the infinity pools and everything else like that. And that just raises the prices of everything.
Yeah.
And it affects everyone. All my Tico friends and that, it's hard for them to afford to live here.
Yeah, but it's I always quote Benjamin. It's like some people say it's paradise, but at the very least, it's very nice. So you got the paradise, but you still have to figure out how to live here.
Well, you have less laundry to do, and you don't have to turn up the heat. That's two things. My health is better. The quality of life is better. Your mental health is better.
Yeah.
And you're not surrounded consistently every day by what's happening somewhere else in the world where you can't even bother to make a decision on. So, yeah, we don't get the full North American negative vibe here.
It's a lot more sunny out there right now. There's still a little beautiful haze out there.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing.
But the temperature got up yesterday, especially in Palma del Norte, because it's kind of in a valley down there. But, it was just one of those days. But a lot of times, we're so close to the ocean, the temperature just stays fairly consistent in the low 80s, mid 80s.
Yeah. That's what I always figure it's if somebody asks me what the temperature is, I'll just say it's around 80.
Yeah.
And then that's usually, it's always on the button. But like back in the States or back in Canada, talk about temperature fluctuations. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, between daylight and sundown here.
Yeah.
We might get a 10-degree drop maybe late at night down to the mid 70s. And it's really comfortable. It doesn't seem that way if you're coming from up north, but once you get acclimated to the climate here, it's perfect. Millions of people don't live here because it's too hot.
Well, I was in Perez last week, and it was a little chilly for me. We were at a restaurant, and it was night, and it was a little breezy.
You looking for your pantalones?
Not quite that bad, but I just was like, wow, this is a little cooler than I'm used to.
Yeah. Yeah, I went up there and I wore a pair of pants because I thought it was going to be colder up there, and my friend Alex was kind of laughing at me. Yeah. This is really good.
Paragliding with you and Mike. Paragliding, huh? You guys are checking off your bucket list there, aren't you?
Oh my God.
I think Sarah went paragliding, didn't she? I had that thought in my mind. Is that must be super duper expensive? I'm kind of trying to. I'm watching my budget lately, but
Yeah, me too.
I think I need to start with the zip line first. But the paragliding would be interesting. At the very least, I'd like to watch you do it. They do that right in outside of Dominical, I think. I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure you could tell me. So we've got our other Canadian. I didn't even see you post there, Doug. In Canada, it's sunny today as well. So I don't know. I'm not sure if you knew he was here, but we have another Canadian here. So Doug.
I think Doug's in Alberta, right? Hola, Doug. I'm having a wonderful days of you. It's Huevos Rancheros.
And that's Don, who's usually on the chat, but today he's live in person here at Restaurante Don Roger, Uvita Costa Rica, overlooking the beautiful whale tail.
And it is beautiful. I haven't seen it this well with the tide out, but it's still a little bit high, right? Because you can't walk out.
Yeah, you could walk out now, probably.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not completely exposed.
Yeah.
I have all that stuff written down, but I forgot when low tide is today.
Right.
I use Magic Seaweed, the website that gives you the forecast and for the tide.
Magic what?
Magic Seaweed. That's what the surfers use a lot. And that gives you a week of what the high and low tides are.
Okay.
I usually write that in my calendar.
Yeah, surfing. I'm in there, but I think I'm about 20 pounds away from my surf video I want to make. So, right. Yeah, I'm going to incorporate you and hire you with your drone to do that. And if I can stay up for 30 seconds, that'll be a magical video I can send back to my friends in Canada.
Well, November is just around the corner. One thing I've noticed here is that time goes by really fast for me here in Costa Rica. I think part of that is it doesn't have the seasons that I'm used to, so time kind of gets away from me. So there's a lot of things that I've meant to accomplish by now that I haven't accomplished. So I'm going to keep working at that. And as I say many times, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But this is a great way to start off the day. Even though breakfast at 7 is kind of late for me, because usually as soon as I get up, I'll eat something, have some coffee, but my breakfast usually isn't a good breakfast. It might be a yogurt and some galletas, cookies, and maybe a bowl of cereal. I eat fairly decent cereal now. I'm avoiding the cereal that's made of complete sugar, even though that's mi favorito. But
what are you eating now? Like a whole grain cereal or something?
Yeah, it's one of the cheaper cereals there, but it's got better ingredients. But the only thing, it's got some artificial sweetener in it,
right?
Which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah. No, I'm a bit of a slug, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got a little of that in Dominical. They're magic weeds.
Sorry. Yeah.
So no monkeys today.
Yeah.
That we know of. They could be looking at us and we wouldn't even know it.
Hey, is that a giant wasp nest up there?
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
Some kind of bees, wasp or bees.
Yeah. You can mistake it for an air balloon.
There's a lot of different kinds of species of all different kinds of insects here. A lot of different kinds of bees and wasps. And there's a lot of different kinds of ants. When I first came here, the ants and I got along pretty well, but it's getting pretty contentious now with certain species of ants that are they're biting me a lot for some reason.
Yeah, me too. Those little guys you can't even see.
Well, the ones that are biting me are they're little guys, but they're not like the microscopic ones, but they're small enough, and I'll get bit by them, and I'll be itchy, and after half a day, it'll start to feel like a bee sting, and just from a little tiny little ant biting in it. My first year living here, I got bit by ants, but I never had that kind of reaction. So I don't know if it's me changing or whether I'm getting bit by different ants.
Yeah. This is what's come down to me. I'm carrying around 2 different kinds of
That's good to have that.
insect bite. Oh, God. Hydrocortisone. Yeah, the mosquitoes I don't have a problem with.
Yeah, mosquitoes aren't a problem for me unless the only time they're a problem for me is like I go ahead if I'm hanging the clothes out real early in the morning or late at night.
Right.
Or if I happen to step into the jungle a little bit.
Yeah, I bought a Tupperware bin, quite a large one, of mosquito stuff that I thought would last me a few months or whatever. I still have it, and I probably used 2 or 3 products at the most.
But if you do a tour in the jungle or somewhere,
Yes.
it'll probably come in handy. So you got it in stock.
Mm-hmm. Sunscreen, that's another one. As you can notice, I've been sitting on my patio, and yeah, I'm spraying that stuff on, man, but it doesn't help shield you from the sun. It helps not to burn.
Yeah.
So Doug getting ready for the winter up there coming. I lived in Prince Albert, Doug, in Saskatchewan. I know what it's like. 7.5 years there, and I wasn't in prison. Did you get down to Bahia during the the Whale Festival, Whale and Dolphin Festival?
That was my plan.
Yeah.
I had a friend from Perez visit me for the weekend, so we didn't really get to the Whale Festival. We visited one of her friends who owns a hotel, the Ladino Azul. I think that's what the name of it is. So they hadn't seen each other in a long time, so we spent a lot of time there. She's a really nice person. It's a cool hotel. I'll probably do a video on it at some point. But we didn't do any of the activities. I was going to go Sunday, and then Sunday wasn't really a lot going on Sunday. But it was interesting. Did you get down there at all?
I got down there for briefly. I dropped off a Tico friend of mine to the night show at the soccer field with the all I can describe it is a modern day disco or something, right?
Oh, that was at the soccer field?
Yeah, and it was loud.
Yeah, I saw some videos. It looked like everybody was really getting into it.
Oh, the light show, the boom, 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 boom. I could hear it from my place, right? So, yeah, I got down there for briefly, and then I went down there a little bit. But there was a lot of people that came to town, or a lot of people just got out of their houses, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. The business at my office picked up. I know that.
Yeah, brewery.
They were busy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've been getting there later since I moved. I'm a little bit more comfortable at home, and I almost feel obligated to go there because they're my friends. I didn't go there the other day, and people were asking where I was, if I was, Motor Day or something, or what happened. Senor Don isn't here today. And I got a text message, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm good. I'm at home. I'm eating. So, but yeah, it was busy. It's a little bit too much for me. I'm 67, so I've passed that stage. Look out there sometimes. You almost feel like you can. Oh, I might be going to whale watching on Tuesday. Finally.
And what company are you going with?
I don't know. Some friends told me yesterday, and they probably had some more seats, and so they got a pretty good deal. It is down at the main entrance. That's where we're supposed to meet anyway. But it's a local company. It's not one of the big things, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, it's supposed to be Tuesday morning. So
I've seen they're having specials that are pretty decent.
yeah.
But I got the local price, and I went down there, even though I'm not a resident. But just after talking with them, and I think that they probably recognized me from riding my bicycle down there. So I ride my bike down to the entrance as part of my route. So yeah, I'm gonna do that again. The day I went out was really choppy, and I think if it was like today's a nice day out.
Oh,
It's like
beautiful. Yeah.
I got to get back out there with my paddleboard.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about getting recognized, and it's kind of odd. Same thing with me yesterday. I went and gassed up, and I was parked on the side doing a little texting, and all of a sudden somebody pulls in. A local Tico guy pulls in to get some gas, and he looks over and he yells, "Senor Don!" And he gets out of his car and comes over, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, right? A younger guy, and comes over and talks to me and fist bumps me and whatever, and I was going like, okay, all right. And it happens to me when I go to shopping sometimes too, right?
So is that from being at the Whale Tail?
I think so, yeah. It's just from all these people I've met, because I meet them coming in and going out, right? Depending on what condition they're in. And yeah, it's interesting because I go down to that baseball, softball thing that goes on in Bahia on Saturdays, and I meet people down there, and then various other places. And I went to the Mexican restaurant fundraiser there a few weeks ago, and people were shocked that I wasn't at the whale tail. What are you doing here? I do get outside of the house once in a while, you know.
So, so the whale tour it'll be cool because
Yeah.
it took me a year to do it. But I was a little disappointed because it was so choppy the day that I went. We couldn't go to the Ventanas Cave
Right.
section. So hopefully you'll get to see that.
Yeah, if it's a day like today, oof, yeah, like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't so expensive to go into the into the uh, into the whale tail park there at the beach.
Well, yeah, $6 for non-residents. Yeah.
And that's not a credit card fee, that's the tax.
Yeah. Yeah, I notice that on the bottom of my receipts all the time. Gracias. Otro más café, gracias. En poco de agua. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sort of it's kind of a curmudgeon thing with me with paying $6 to go to the whale tail, but you know, I will.
I mean, it adds up. Oh, you haven't been there yet?
No, because I'm holding off. Till I get my residency. That is. Sí, gracias. Yeah.
You know, tomorrow's not guaranteed, Don.
No, no, but I've seen a lot of beaches in my short time here, all the way over to Samara and Guanacaste, and you know, up to Nicaragua and places like that.
This one's muy diferente.
Yeah, see, yeah. Oh, gracias. Oh, un poco más sugar.
Importante.
She asked me if I wanted more milk, and I forgot. So she has to run back and get sugar from me now. Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
So if you're just tuning in, we're here at the Don Roger restaurant in Uvita, Costa Rica. Just a beautiful day here. And cicadas are starting up, which can be overwhelming in another month or so. They really get cranked. It's not bad when there's only one or two going.
Yeah, you've got tinnitus too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I have to play something at night, either some kind of relaxing music, gracias, and or self-guided sleep meditation. To hear the ringing in your head.
No, I haven't been to Samara yet. I haven't been meaning to get up that way, but I have not. I get caught up in things here. I get caught up in unexpected things here in the area.
Well, you know, I did the drive straight back when I went up there. If you drove from here because of all the construction and the distance, it is a good 6 hours if you don't get out of your seat, right? And there's really nothing outside of, you know, I don't know, it's not much in between here and there to see.
I can't remember. There was one guy on here that was kind of. He's always saying something negative. He was from somewhere. I'm not sure if it was Samara or where it was from, but he was saying he lived in the real Costa Rica and every place else was inferior to where he lived. And I think he unsubscribed after a live I did where I finally had enough and said, look, and everybody's got their own point of view. Don't try to make it your point of view is the only point of view, because that's my thought on everything. It's like everybody's got their own way of looking at things.
One of those soccer fans or baseball or hockey or football fans, you know, you're on those chat lines in their team or something, right? Your opinion doesn't count. Like, really? You know, can we just focus back on the game? Costa Rica is a beautiful country. Not every part of it is equal.
And everybody's opinion of what the real Costa Rica is different. And if you're if you're an if you're honest with yourself, it's going to change. If you're an outsider moving here, your perspective on it will change. And if it doesn't change, you're kind of in a bubble. You know, if you're dragging that North American mentality here, I mean, maybe that is what Costa Rica is. You living in a bubble somewhere, but I guess I can't say I'm not judgmental, because I guess I am, but I just don't try to. I don't tell somebody else that they're not living the real Costa Rica, whatever. Kind of, I'm not sure exactly what I'm saying, but I just, try not to project my views too much on other people. I express my views, but it's like everybody's got their own.
Yeah, it's just different. It's different for everyone. You know, some people come down here with lots of money. Some people that live here or born here have a lot of money. But a lot of people, even in these small towns and areas, they don't travel to San Jose. Some
Right.
have never even been there in their whole lives.
Right.
You know, they stay in their own little communities and do their own thing. They know each other. They live their lives. It's a beautiful thing. But to say that there's one particular Costa Rica, it's the old saying, things were better in the old days. You know, really? Were they? How do you know? Right?
Well, I had a friend from Sia, and some of them have been Costa Ricans. Like my ex-girlfriend, Nappy, had never been to the Whale Tail, and I brought she had a daughter.
Yeah.
And that was so cool to be able to be a tour guide to a Tico showing a whale tail. I think I probably guided 4 or 5 people on their first trip to the Whale Tail. You still haven't been, so maybe we can do a video on your primera vez en la Vagina.
Don's struggling to keep up with Ed on the Whale Tail. You said it was like 19, 20 minutes from one point to the next, and I'm thinking, okay, well,
there's lots of shade.
Depending on your age and your knee structure. Yeah, I know. I need more exercise. You were right about buying a car, though. Right? Once you buy a car, your exercise regime, whatever it was,
that's
dissipates.
Exactly why. My first 3 months here, I didn't have a car, and I was in pretty good shape. And then I got the car, and there's a lot of things that happen because your lifestyle changes, because you're not always walking around.
Yeah.
You're in the house. Actually, I'm in the house more with a car, because when you go walking, it's like, I got to go walk to the grocery store. So you're out and you're gone, quite a while walking, and you're going wherever else you're going, you go. And then when you have a car, you just pop in and pop out, and you go somewhere, and you stop by El Mercado and come back home, and or go do this or that. And I put on a lot of weight since I got the car, so it's changed my lifestyle a little bit. But it's just a matter of discipline. I need to do things a little differently, and it has opened up doors. I have opportunity to go places that I didn't go before, and actually, aside from the local places, I haven't really ventured out that much. And of course, gas prices play a huge role in that, because I just don't like to spend money. But I need to get out and exploring. And also with an older car, there's always a concern, like, oh man, what if I'm up above San Jose somewhere and my car breaks down or something?
Oh, you can call me. I'll try to.
But you can't be concerned about those little things. This is what I'm telling myself. A lot of times when I'm doing a video and I'm being a little preachy, it isn't being preachy to anybody listening. It's being preachy to myself. It's kind of a
self-talk. Yeah.
It's kind of like this YouTube channel's kind of been a diary for myself this whole time. So it's good for me to express this to myself. It's like, hey man, you got to get out and do this. You got to get out and do that. I think lately I've been caught up in with my videos. It's like, I need to do a video. People would want to see this, want to see that. which of course is a consideration, but I need to get back to like, oh man, I really want to make a video about this. I want to make a video about that. Because my dream life would be to be actual making documentaries about meaningful things that it would be, you know, that, you know, they'll have global interest kind of thing. But yeah, my skill level really isn't there for that at this point in my life. But I'd be open to collaborations with other people. There's some really great filmmakers in this area. I would love to work with. I'd also like to work with a lot of the tour operators and things that would want some exposure and you know just all the different tourist things that if they could provide me access to their business, I could provide them with some really good promotion. So if you're out there listening to that, I'm gonna do a video on that topic soon. So if you're a local tour operator or a business in Costa Rica, or you know somebody in Costa Rica, and you want some video coverage, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. Just throwing that out there. There will be a video follow-up on that, because that's one of the things I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah, because your videos, like I told you a number of times, have helped me, especially around Uvita in the beginning. Like I wouldn't have discovered the Whaletail Brewery if it wasn't for you. I had a cane and I was hobbling. I was sweating profusely for weeks on end. But, you know, your videos, I sat across the street from the BCR bank looking at that one video on how to use the bank machine on the first day I was here, because I needed some colognes.
And I still struggle with that ATM from time to time.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
But my voice, buenos dias, my voice coming from beautiful Bermuda. My English no es bueno. Bermuda. I can't say, there's certain things I have a hard time saying even in English. Bermuda.
Is it Bermuda or is it Bermuda?
I also have a hard time saying brewery.
Yeah.
So that's why I usually say, well, the bar, not the brewery. Maybe my tongue's too fat. I don't know.
Hey, I was calling it the barro.
Adios, Doug. Gotta put your farm hat on and get to work. Okay.
That's great.
Ver my that. You know what? I'm learning my Spanish words, so I'm pronouncing my E's differently now. My mind is so confused about anything. Say Bermuda, as in you hear it say the Bermuda Triangle, Bermuda. Lo siento, mi inglés no es bueno.
Yeah,
mi idioma todos no es bueno. It's good to see I got something right here. My English hasn't quite left me yet, but at this point, if I could trade my English in for Spanish, I would do it. But I got in trouble one time when I went back to the USA because the customs man was talking to me, and I was talking to him in English, and then he asked me a question, and I answered C because that's just something I can say it's C, so that's one word that I use here. I was like, C. If somebody says something I agree, I'll say C. And he looked at me and was like, either you're going to talk to me in English or you're going to talk to me in Spanish. And I'm just like, oh, sorry, I didn't, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just how I talk. Spanish is starting to creep into my actual,
which is good.
Yeah, but only in a few words.
Yeah, no, I think your videos are very valuable. You know, how many people have come up to you and said, you know, what those videos have helped them with. So, yeah, any businesses that are in this town or anybody that has something that needs to be displayed to the world, you could do a very good job of putting that out there for them. Definitely.
Well, that's one of the things I do enjoy is being able to. It helps both parties. Like it helps people that are visiting or moving here, and it helps the businesses get exposure. When I first moved here, it was in the middle of COVID, and there's so many businesses that were struggling. And I mean, everybody's in tourism. You're always struggling because it's the nature of the business. But going through the motions as if they had a lot of customers there, and it was such a relief, and it's such a good thing to see. Now that things are coming back, these businesses are starting to catch up a little bit. So I really like to shine a light on the businesses that are here, because I've been a small business owner myself in the past, and it's a struggle. Like every day, it's such a mental struggle, physical struggle, spiritual struggle when you have a struggling business. So yeah, it's good to see everybody thriving again. Not some people are thriving more than others, but it's nice to connect people, and that they see the value in each other. So that's good.
You think about the Welltail Brewery, John McKelly there. He had to run the whole thing by himself. Brewed all the beer, cooked all the food, served all the drinks, whoever came in there. It was just by himself for months and months and months and months.
And now they're thriving. So that's a success story there. And
yeah, he's got, just in that brewery alone, besides the hotel, he's got 10 plus employees that never worked there before.
And so we're talking about the Whaletail Brewery that's in Uvita, and they also have a hotel there, but they brew right on site. They have several different kinds of craft beer, and they're also at El Mercado on Wednesday and Saturday. That's something new they've been doing, which kind of adds a little something extra to El Mercado. You can go over and have yourself a beer.
Yeah, they're bottling it now too.
Yeah, that's what they do. They have bottles there, even at El Mercado, and they've got the draft.
Yeah.
I actually do like the beer from there in bottles better. I don't know what there is about it. Maybe because I'm used to bottles.
Yeah. Well, as you know, my beer has to be cold, or else it's just not drinking it.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the ice bucket. I bought one for my house too. So if I'm having a beer, I can stick it in the ice bucket.
There you go.
Oh, the boats are going out. Look, it's like there's a boat going out there. There's a couple of little. Yeah, they're launching something there. These little yellow birds too, eh?
Yeah.
They're just buzzing around down here. They're like, I don't know, chickadees or something, but they're all yellow.
Maybe some kind of finch or something. I'm not the bird expert. There's an awful lot of birds.
I know. My friend in Canada says, "Oh, you should get to know all the birds." I said, I have better things to do than to get to all the birds of Costa Rica. I enjoy them, but I don't know. Knowing their names, I can hardly remember half of the people I know's name.
Well, yeah, I figure the birds don't know my name. Why should I know theirs, right? But it is interesting to be able to identify them, but yeah, it's not an obsession with me. I'm still working on the mammals. There's a few mammals here I don't know yet.
Have you seen one of those big, huge, whatever those things are with the big snouts? I forget what the name of those things are. I see them in videos going across roads.
Yeah, you see them down in Corcovado a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen one, but I've seen them in videos.
I saw an image of somebody got up a panther. It was in Perez. They see them all the time in Corcovado. Been quite a few encounters, but like in the Perez area, it was kind of shocking to see it. So you never know what you're going to encounter when you walk into the jungle or the forest. And my friend from San Isidro was telling me, I said, yeah, I live here in the jungle. She goes, this isn't the jungle, this is the bosque. It's a forest. I go, well, to me it's the jungle. I've got monkeys, got palm trees. And she says, no, it's a forest. I'm like, oh, to me it's a jungle. We had a little bit of a discourse about that.
Don't burst my bubble.
Yeah, then we're driving down along the shore, and I go, is that the jungle or forest? She goes, oh, that's the jungle. I well, it's the same kind of trees and things that I had. So I
Yeah.
think she was determining it by how many houses were there or something.
Yeah. But yeah, like you can drive 4 or 5 minutes behind the BM there up the roads there, like I did a few times, 2 or 3 kilometers. Man, you are deep into it. I'm shocked that the monkeys actually want to come into Uvita when I see that.
So it's just interesting watching the waves coming in out
There
there.
goes that boat. They're going on a tour or something. Who knows? There's 3 or 4 of them out there now.
Yeah, there's usually the whole assault crew out there. They come in and do I call it the reverse Normandy invasion, where they load up.
Yeah.
I'm really kicking myself for not making the time to do more video of the Whale Festival. Well, there's always next year. I need to. One of the things I need to do is be a little bit better with my time management and actually use a calendar and plan my next week.
Okay.
Because I haven't been doing that, and I've got things I need to get done. And if I don't get them, if I don't do them, nobody will. So
Hey, I still haven't unpacked all my stuff at my place yet. I've been there a week. I know I have to. I'm looking for my other cell phone because that's the one I use to call Canada. I think it needs to be charged. I still haven't gone to look for it. It's up on a shelf somewhere.
So when's the next time you go back to Canada?
Never,
Never, ever?
ever. I told people,
Wow.
if I die here and I get cremated and you send me back to Canada, I will haunt you for the rest of your life.
Well, you better get that paperwork done. You better see it.
I've already talked to the lawyer in that about it. Because I didn't come to Costa Rica to get shipped back to Canada. What's the point of that?
So no desire whatsoever to even visit.
No.
Well, you don't have to do border runs either, so that makes it easier too. I've been forced a couple times. I mean, I could go other places for a border run, but I've gone back to the States twice.
It's expensive to go to Canada. It's like, you're looking at probably anywhere minimum about $600 one way, right?
One way?
One way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dios míos.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can get a cheap flight and it's like $600 return, but most of the time it's expensive. But I worked all across Canada, outside of Quebec. I've been there, Quebec City, Montreal, and out to Halifax and all that area in my life. And that's why the thought of living in Costa Rica intrigued me. I've never been there, and I don't know anything about it. And every time I step outside my door, there's something different.
Well, last time I flew to the States, I got it was like $225 round trip to New York City.
Wow.
Of course, I had to get a rental car and all that.
Right.
But a friend of mine that lives in Florida said I could, my next trip, I'm considering this. I'm not sure I'm going to do it, but she said I can fly into Fort Lauderdale, and that's like $240 round trip. It's less than a 3-hour flight, or around a 3-hour flight. Mm-hmm. And she picked me up at the airport and spend just a couple of days there, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's still more expensive than going to Panama, because Panama. Yeah. And I think it's 2 days in Panama now. I don't know exactly, but most people I've talked to lately say you need to stay 2 days in Panama now instead of 1. So that would be $120 for the hotel I usually stay in, plus be like $16 for parking probably, and 2 hours to drive there. To go to the States, I have to drive 3 to 4 hours to San Jose, and I got to pay for parking, which would be about $25, and flight. So I'm not sure. It's kind of a pain to go through the.
Yeah, I got some friends that live in Venice, in Florida, there, just south of Sarasota. But the last time I looked at a flight to go over there, it was quite expensive. And then again, you got to find all the other peripheries in between there.
Yeah, which isn't super duper bad, but I mean, it's not. It's like Expedia, because I'm not sure what airport you'd fly into for that. Flying into Miami is really cheap.
Yeah.
And I think Orlando's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I was thinking of Tampa. So
Yeah, Tampa might be a little more, but Fort Lauderdale isn't too bad. I don't know. I'm just like I need to watch the Bucks because I want to do some exploring here in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I've been getting people to pick mule stuff down to me now, which is great. They're been coming and going. Yeah, I got a couple of things in the last trip some friends made, which is great. They just ordered it on Amazon, so inexpensive, right? And they get it the next day, and then they bring it down to me. It's like, well, that's cool. I'm not trying to overwhelm people with that $200 or $300 pieces of equipment, but
that's a huge adjustment to make if you're used to getting Amazon delivered the next day, and when you move here, you don't get that anymore. It's like you have to, and it's a blessing in some ways. But the last time I went to the States, I kind of was so hungry and thirsty for my Amazon fix, and there was things that I needed,
right,
in my mind, anyways. I kind of reverted back, and I had a whole suitcase full of stuff that I ordered on Amazon. I mean, some of it was presents for other people and things I wanted to get for other people, but a lot of it was just stuff I needed for video and primarily.
With me, it was just the search for like a simple thing like the new coffee machine I bought, and I wanted to get one of those forever filters, right? Now I asked a few people around, even the people I bought it from, and they all kind of went, "Huh?" Okay. So it was just easier to get somebody to order it up and bring it down here than me to go out there and search from Parma Norte all the way up to San Jose or San Isidro to find the thing.
Well,
just little silly things like that that are so simple to find when you live in that environment up there. But down here, it's as a newbie, it's kind of frustrating.
But if you want the greatest coffee maker on the planet, you can get it from Dainier.
Yes.
Find here Dainier from Cafe Don Emilio, who's at El Mercado every Wednesday and every Saturday. And he has these custom-made coffee makers that you pour it through the sock thing, and which actually makes the best coffee.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. Yeah, no, I buy his coffee too. It's good.
Yeah, they've just got they changed bags now. They've got a different bag, but I'm going to be doing a video on that very soon. And it's one of the things that I've put off because I know it's something I could do at any time, so it gets put on the back burner. So that's part of my thing about needing to do my schedule a week in advance, because otherwise, if I play it by ear, there's too many variables that can happen. So I need to set up my schedule and have it. My schedule will have an A, a B, and a C. Like if it's raining, I'm going to do this. If it's not raining, I'm going to do that. Because if you plan on, for instance, if I planned on going out with a drone first thing in the morning, if it's raining out, I need to have a plan, because it's not like you can power through it. Your drone can't be out there in the rain, so you have to have a backup plan, something else that you're planning on doing. I need to stop letting myself go freeform with my planning. I used to be good at it, but lately I just get that paralysis of analysis, and it gets to be part of the day. It's around 3 o'clock, and it's probably going to be raining at that point. But.
Yeah. No, I'm struggling with retirement. Right. I've got friends who've been retired for 10 years who are telling me, look, it's going to be a strange thing. It takes a few years because you just feel that this guilt of not doing something.
But in my opinion, even if you're retired, you need to have that purpose. Like I'm not retired myself, so I can't really speak to that. But I've got a lot of things I need to do because I need to make a living here. But even if I was retired, I would have to have a reason to wake up. I mean, I would have to have something that is I'd have to have my goals, no matter what they were. Just because I see people like they have this vision when they retire, they're going to sit on the beach and
in a hammock.
Yeah, in a hammock. And I've actually tried to, like, even when I have an official day where it's like, oh, I'm taking this day and just going to relax. I go to the beach, and I just can't sit there on the beach.
I know, me either. I got to get up in the walk or something.
When I'm sitting there on the beach, I'm like, oh, I want to be shooting some video of something. I'll see the crabs running.
Getting into a pretty good routine, whether it, you get up in the morning, you make yourself a cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is, and you start getting into these routines, right, of a daily habits, which gives your brain the activity that it needs. Whether you're going out or doing something, or meeting with friends, but it isn't always super constructive. But you fall into a routine as long as you're not sitting there totally like a hump on the log.
Yeah, the whole concept of retirement never really seemed like anything that interested me that much.
I know. I'm 67, man. I retired at 66, so I didn't have much of a chance either.
I mean,
No.
You can quit your job and find another job that you like to do. Maybe you'll make less money than you made, but
I'm a Walmart greeter.
You're the concierge.
Unofficial concierge at the Whaletail Brewery. Yeah. Welcome to the Whaletail. We got specials on today on wings.
So it's interesting out just watching the waves there, how just in certain spots they do this and they do that, or they break at a certain point.
Yeah, they're getting bigger. The first wave is on the break is quite big now. And no, I've been watching this because you can see almost the whole isthmus or whatever you want to call it there, going all the way out to the.
It's the ocean. It's like almost infinite. Not really, but it gives you that feeling of that.
Mm-hmm.
Humbling is what it is, actually.
Yeah, I used to live in Vancouver Island, up in the northern part of Vancouver Island, a little town called, not town, a little harbor called Winter Harbor. When I was a kid, we'd leave the harbor and we'd go out, and the only thing between us and Canada was Japan. Right? So, see, you can see whales. You see?
Yeah. So
you can see whales over there, right at the end, jumping. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's the whaletail, and it has whales.
Wow, that one's breaching. It's just, that's pretty cool. Not that far offshore.
No, I was paddleboarding right on the coast there, but I don't know if that there is a whale.
No, there was one just past the reef there.
Yeah, right there.
There, see? There.
Yeah, that's a dolphin, I think.
You sure?
I don't know. That one looked like a dolphin, maybe.
Where's my binoculars? Pull out your camera. Zoom in now.
My 500 millimeter lens on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not far from where I was paddleboarding.
Out there?
Little ways.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. I didn't make it past the breaks there, of course, but I was in the protected area.
Is that what it's called, the break?
No, the breakers. I mean.
Yeah. No, whatever that is, it's having fun. Yes. So in Spanish, a whale is a ballena, right?
Vagina.
Yeah, the L's.
Yeah, to throw those L's right out the window, right?
Throw the L's out.
Vagina.
Get that L out.
Moreno Vagina. Yeah, you can still see the little bit of action going out there.
Yeah, Katia posted another video on ours. When to roll your R's. It was pretty funny. She's funny.
So we're here at the Restaurante and the whales in the distance that you of course can't see. Whales or dolphins or something having a lot of fun out there.
Well, it's got to be a whale. It's huge.
Well, I can't. It's hard to get the context there. I can't.
Yeah. I think I can do something with my little phone thing here.
that was a little bit of a unexpected pleasure to see. I don't know if I can move this over. Probably won't be able to see it, but
Yeah, suddenly it'll stop.
no, they keep
Oh,
going.
there it is again.
Yeah, it's hanging out there.
I'm
Nice spot.
I've got it up to 9.
So this spot out there to the just beyond where you can see just beyond where you can see the breakers. There to the left, it's up there now. So as you're looking at the video, it's right to the right of the trees that are down. Let's see if I can't point it out, but it's
There it is again.
to the right of.
Yeah, I've got a little video here.
And it's to our left of the screen. There's some whale or other mammal action there. Did you actually get a breach there, or was it just coming out?
Well, I think I got a small.
Muy interesante.
Yeah.
So even though it's really small, it's just, I mean, I'm not saying the picture is small, the view is small. We're watching waters where there are whales surfacing out there. And they surface right beyond where you can see there's breakers, where you see the white water on of the whale tail. Right past that, a little ways out, every once in a while, a whale will surface out there. And if I actually had a real camera hooked up to this laptop situation, I could zoom in on it. So maybe that's something we'll try in the future. But this is the season for whales here in Uvita. And fittingly, this is called the whale tail, and there's whales here.
Well, if you get your subscribers over 1,000, you can bring different equipment, right?
Yeah, I think there's different. I'm not sure exactly what I can do, but
yeah,
I might be able to do that now. Even I'm not sure.
Hey, call friends and family. Subscribe to this.
Yeah, my friends and family don't care too much about my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when you get down here. All of a sudden, your friends just don't bother calling you anymore. They're talking to you.
Well, it's different. I have different friends that keep in contact. Like a lot of them weren't friends as much. They were just more casual, but they were like people that are interested in Costa Rica are interested in Costa Rica. So
yeah,
and like family that's not really interested in it, it's like, oh, he's gone.
like moving to Germany or something.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's closer than moving to California. It'd be closer to home if I lived in California. I mean, I'm closer now than if I had moved to California.
Probably less expensive too. After you land.
Well, California?
No, Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
You can get a cheap flight to California, but once you get off the plane, open up your wallet.
Is there a cheap place in
California?
I don't think so.
Maybe in the desert or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time. They used to take buses down there in the 70s. Go all the way to Mexico. I take the Greyhound all the way from Vancouver down to Tijuana.
So I haven't seen any more action from the whales out there.
No, all of a sudden it stopped. Damn, I knew it was on video.
But it's interesting. I would love to be out on paddle. Well, I don't know if I would love to be out on paddleboard and have that pop up next to me. It would be shocking. I mean, if I was in a group of people, it wouldn't be bad. But if I was out there by myself, because I don't know if you saw my paddleboarding video, I was out there just in the little inlet there, and something jumped out of the water and landed. It might have been a dolphin, or it might have been I have no idea what. Could have been it. anything. That's what kind of freaks me out. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Anything could be below you. And I have no idea how deep it is. Like right in inside the protected area of the whale tail. But the ocean looks so nice and calm out there today compared to other days. There's of course there's the swells and all that, but
No. Nothing dull about this view. Oh,
well, almost at 9, so wrap this up and thank everybody for joining the live stream here. And I really wish I could have zoomed in on the whales with my laptop, but I've just got my cheap laptop camera. So that's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story Live. Make sure you like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and make sure you share with a friend and say goodbye to Don
hola, buenas
and,
tardes.
and
Oh,
hasta luego.
what is that over there? Is that